Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. The one video where it's been a week since I last played this game, so I'm hoping everything is completely in sync. Today's show kind of carries on from the tournament. As I say, we're getting close to the halfway stage for the women's tournament, so I'm pretty now convinced we'll get there for double or nothing, I feel, because we do need to start getting storylines across and really getting that dynasty card put together with pretty much a month to go to that show. And I feel some women they may be limited availability, so we may just have to drag it out that wee bit. But even if it finishes, say, a couple of weeks before, and then the final can be obviously double or nothing, it gives that wee couple of weeks build up. So hope you enjoy it. And I say it is the usual tapings of Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, and Shockwave. Let's do it. So we're at the Reed Green Coliseum. So let me try and explain this angle and what was going on in my head. So the first part of it, we have Orange Cassidy come out, basically stands in the ring, gives a wee thumbs up, the crowd are loving it. I had the work in the crowd for Orange Cassidy before, really be over, so I thought we'd utilise it here. He gets ready to speak, but then we have Christian Cage come out and he cuts a promo, the AEW World Champion, and just says Orange Cassidy may be the guy that's stepping forward to challenge Christian Cage, but as I say, he's just going to be a joke. And Christian Cage will remain World Champion then, now, and forever. After this, Christian heads to the back, and we see him bump into Jake Roberts, and he says, I'm looking for a favour. I want someone to take on Orange Cassidy tonight and beat him down. And Jake Roberts basically says, I've got the man that is really cut out to do this, the perfect man for you, and he recommends El Toro Blanco. It is, of course, Rush. So we basically set up Orange Cassidy versus Rush for later on tonight. So in this segment, it's a 66 overall with a 71, 69 and 59. Rush was underwhelming because it was rated on intimidation. Storyline advances, loses a little bit of heat. Of course, Christian is still getting stale, so we will need to work on a little bit of a gimmick alteration for the champion. Next up, our opening contest was that double match-up for the Women's World title and part of the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, Group C. Decent matchup, Mariah May defeats Thunder Rosa in 11:29 with a reverse bulldog. 8th defence of the championship, a 57, a 52 and a 63. And yeah, look at Mariah with a 65 in-ring performance, good stuff there. She picks up another 3 points and retains her championship. We then have a little sing and dance as Maki Ito sings her entrance song, which gets a 55. She's in action next. And she's a decent matchup with Athena, but it is Athena who picks up the win in 9:12 with the top rope stunner, or a total eclipse. That was part of the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group B, and it was a 66 overall. A fantastic performance from Athena with a 72. We then have that very awful video. Basically, again, it's just Raven talking to Jack Perry, just basically saying him everything he needs to do to become a loner, and he will start to get some victories going forward. So that was a 31. There's a lot more to that, but I'll explain it later on because Perry is quite heavily featured tonight. Back to the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix, Group C, and it was a decent matchup that saw Deonna Purrazzo defeat Riho in 8:50 with the Fujiwara armbar, so a submission victory there. I feel sorry for Riho that she's losing out, but I want to keep Deonna strong in this tournament. And overall it was a 66 segment, so some good stuff in our women's division. Can't argue with that. Then I had a little segment backstage where we see Daniel Garcia alongside the remarkable Renee Paquette, and it's just basically discussing with her, obviously, the situation between Garcia and MJF. And Garcia says the ball is in MJF's court. When is MJF going to have the balls to come and take on Daniel Garcia and they can settle this once and for all? So 65 for that one. We really use MJF a bit more. Decent matchup, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeated Sarie in 8:49 by submission. Made this storytelling because Britt's still poor form, but she did deliver a 51 here in this Group C match, and it was a 61 overall. Hopefully one day we'll eventually get her out of that, but she still is in a bit of a rut at the moment. We then have a little promo here where Chris Jericho basically says, look how much better Dr. Britt Baker's doing. She's winning, she's picking up matches, she's going to be a firm favourite in this tournament. We then have John Moxley come out And he says, well, Chris, it's not like you to overrate someone. I think you're forgetting about someone else that's in her group, someone else that is going to be one of the toughest women in the group, one of the favourites in the group, and that is Marina Shafir. And he basically just says, Collision this Saturday, Dr. Britt Baker, Marina Shafir. Let's see how tough Britt is against the problem. So adjust this one on Marina's intimidation, so that maybe helped it a little bit because that was a 57. Some great work there actually by Jericho's promo, the 79. Sadly, both the ladies underperformed, obviously next to their male counterparts, but hopefully it can benefit them with some overness down the line. So we are really struggling in the promo department tonight so far. With a 3-minute video package, just really talking about the injury to Wheeler Yuta, the beatdown from Adam Cole. Obviously, Yuta being taken to the hospital, so expanding on last week's episode, which was a 41. And then we had that bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Orange Cassidy picks up the win over Rush in 11:52 with Beach Break. I let them steal the show, and I'd say they delivered. 73 for Orange Cassidy, 80 for Rush, and a 78 overall. Good stuff. Then another segment backstage, so 72 is our best promo of the night, and it's just Will Ospreay talking about, well, two people in this incident. It is Jack Perry and Swerve Strickland. First off, we'll speak about Swerve Strickland, obviously the issues that Swerve has wanted him to make an example of Will Ospreay, thinking that Ospreay's the man that's going to elevate him back to the main event. And Ospreay's like, he's ready for Swerve. He says if it happens at Dynasty, it happens at Dynasty. But he knows how good Swerve can be. So that was a 72. Storyline advances, gains heat. But he also talks about Jack Perry. Jack Perry is going to be facing Will Ospreay in the main event. He says he knows he's a bit down on his luck, but he says he's been taking advice from a very dangerous man in the form of Raven. And he's intrigued to see what Jack Perry brings in their main event matchup tonight. The other match that we hyped for this show was part of the Briscoes Tag Team Cup Group A, and that was Aussie Open versus the Righteous. And it was a decent wild brawl that saw Aussie Open defeat the Righteous in 11:50 when Kyle Fletcher pinned Dutch with the Coriolis. Because it was wild brawl, this massively suited the style of Mark Davis. Probably could say suited Dutch as well. But good win for Aussie Open and a 68. Pretty solid stuff. And their main event was about to have some great wrestling and good heat. We had Jack Perry defeat Will Ospreay in 13:48 with the Canadian Destroyer following a distraction from Swerve Strickland. This match was designed to steal the show and resulted in a 73, Ospreay with a 79, Jack Perry 67, and we continue the storyline between Ospreay and Swerve. So the reason for Jack Perry going over, very, very last minute, I will admit, but I realised I had promised that Will Ospreay was going to put him over and it was expiring very soon. So I panicked and made this matchup happen very, very quickly. Because obviously with Jack Perry, the plan is for him to have like a loner gimmick. He is going to morph into like a very, very poor Raven. But I do want to line him with followers down the line. But we're just going to look at maybe someone's been inspired by this victory over Will Ospreay. And yeah, we can obviously see here we're going Swerve, Ospreay down the line. Show itself a 72, so that loses 5 popularity in 5 regions. It gains us in 4. So it just shows that we really need to be hitting it out of the park now with pretty much mid to high 70 ratings if we wish to get to the next level. So overall, I feel it was okay. We are trying to progress the tournament. I think it might be a bit of a hindrance, if I'm being honest, in terms of the storyline stuff, because we don't really get any time for our mid-card. But it might help us down the line if we have a far stronger women's division with them gaining better skill sets in terms of technical and psychological as well. Quick look at the locker room. Anything happens before Rampage? Nope. Let's go book it. So our Rampage show was given us the attendance. It was just under 6,000 at the Reed Green Coliseum. So I'd say we're getting better. It was all tournament matches that took place. It was the Guns defeating Alex Reynolds and John Silver in the tag team tournament. That was a 62. They decided to give Harley Cameron some promo time, which was a 45. Anna Jay defeated Alex Windsor, which sadly, because both were perceived to be pre-show talents, only got us a 36. And I had a kind of promo for Anna Jay just saying, you underestimate me at your peril. As I say, I'm going to put my best shot in here to try and win this. 49. Mina Shirakawa defeated Thekla in a 57. Warming up for our matchup with Dr. Britt Baker DMD, we saw Marina Shafir tap out Max the Impaler, an impressive victory there, which was a 46. We had an angle and some words from Sammy Guevara. And we finished up with Hikaru Shida defeating Takuma Iroha in a 6-9 match, which was a Steal the Show matchup, so they done pretty good stuff there. So that's Rampage. I believe it's time for Colliders to assemble. Let's get a show on the road. So at the Agganis Arena, we've decided to use Austin. Just basically saying 2 weeks ago was a fitting tribute to JR. He says he'll dearly miss him. He gave him so much stuff in the wrestling business. And he says there's a lot of good cats in this dressing room. And he hopes that they can continue to improve and do JR proud. So, short promo, uses the word appearance for Austin since we never got him in time for the tribute show. And it was a 75. Opening segment. Basic stuff. Opening contest of the evening was in the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group A. And a decent matchup saw Toni Storm defeat Taya Valkyrie in 7:33 with a strong 0. 71 from Toni, only a 45 from Taya. It gives us a 65 segment, Toni being one of the favourites in her group at the moment. And she says a few words after it. She says all the pressure is on Mercedes Moné. She obviously lost to Toni Storm, so Toni just has to keep on winning, and Mercedes needs to hope for a bit of luck. So good luck, she says. 67 for the segment. Toni benefits from the hot catchphrase, but however, she's also getting stale. So that's Christian Cage and Toni Storm, two people we may need to look at. One of the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group B. Decent wild brawl saw Willow Nightingale pick up 3 points as she defeated Saraya in 8:44 by pinfall. Saraya with 35 just doesn't suit the brawl style. Willow clearly does, which is good to see. And a 61. The good thing about having the 3 different products that you can use, obviously Steal the Show, Wild Brawl, storytelling, you can see who kind of works with whatever product and who you kind of need to cover with the storytelling aspect. But 61, still good stuff. Another little segment again, obviously after Jack Perry's impressive victory over Will Ospreay, thanks to Swerve Strickland. Raven says, well done. I think I can find you some muscle though. I think I can find someone to help you and protect you. Leave me with this one. So that segment was a 31. Who could Raven be on about? We'll find out over the upcoming weeks. Nothing major, just someone I think ties into the theme of what Jack Perry's going for. Wow. Best segment probably the series so far. But Sami Zayn comes out and he just basically says he wants to have a good matchup here on Collision. He basically said he's excited to face a roster of great talents that he's never faced before. So he's asked Scott D'Amore, Tony Khan, get him an opponent, and he'll happily face them tonight. So Sami benefits from being off the script. Hot catchphrase, 88. Stellar stuff. And that matchup is against the Beast Mortos, and it was about that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, as Sami Zayn defeats the Beast Mortos in 11:28 with the Brainbuster. Made them steal the show. 79 played a 57, so maybe not so great from the Beast Mortos, but a 74 overall, and Sami picks up a good dub. Then had a little segment here from Kenny Omega. He comes out to the ring and says that Sami's impressive victory there gave Kenny the idea that he should have an open challenge tonight as well. So he wants someone to come out now, declare their interest, and we will step forward for a main event matchup for the Continental Championship. MVP says it's quite an interesting proposition. He was trying to get the National Championship onto Bobby Lashley. Why doesn't he try and get the Continental Championship around the waist of Shelton Benjamin? So we have a little stare down between Kenny and Shelton, and that is your main event, because I think that'd be pretty sick to see. So Shelton was underwhelming, obviously because of his popularity, and the segment 57. Now on to the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group D, and it was about to had some decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. But we had Dr. Britt Baker DMD pick up the win over Marina Shafir in 8:20 by a surprise roll-up. So it was a storytelling matchup, obviously. Marina trying to make Britt submit. Marina's not going to tap out to the lockjaw, so we had the surprise victory. Britt picks up the win, 45 overall. She had a 50 compared to Marina's 42, so she's getting better, Britt, but still a long way to go. Then cut backstage to a promo with Chris Jericho as he's walking by Nick Wayne, and he says to him, did you see what Dr. Britt Baker DMD just did there? A roll-up, a smart move. a move that Chris Jericho would never ever lose to. I've noticed you, Nick Wayne, that you've turned a new leaf, you've become a new guy. Good guy. Well, silly choice, because tonight you've got a match up against me, Nick Wayne, and tonight you're going to lose to Chris Jericho. So a 58 there, Jericho versus Nick Wayne, and that's happening later on tonight. There's a 58 for Jericho's promo. In the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group C, we had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Io Shirai defeated Ryo Mizunami in 8:13 with the German suplex hold. It's a shame for Ryo because she's pretty damn good, but she is going to be putting most people over here, and Io continues her 100% record in a 70 rated segment. We then had the decent matchup that saw Nick Wayne surprise Chris Jericho with the victory in 9:04 with a fast roll-up. It's almost as if I was hinting at it. But 59 for the wrestling, 52 for the crowd, 60 for the segment. I need to obviously sort out Shayna Wayne alongside Nick. But the reality is, if using up her promises, Chris Jericho was happy to put Nick Wayne over, so it was a good opportunity to have that match up pretty quickly. Then I had a segment here, it was some words from the Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. It's just them talking about they're putting everyone on notice. They obviously saw what you've done to Wheeler Yuta, but they're here to be the prime faction in AEW. So there's words of warning there for Bryan Danielson and Sami Zayn, who are obviously aligned. There's words of warning for Jon Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club, and for Jay White and the Bang Bang Gang. Storyline advances, loses heat. Adam Cole looked good. Our main event matchup was about that had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Kenny Omega defeats Shelton Benjamin in 22:16 with the One-Winged Angel. Kenny makes the 5th defence of the AEW Continental Championship. They bring a 73 level of wrestling, 54 crowd and 76 segment. Great chemistry between them and it showed in their performances, so that's nice to see. But obviously Shelton doesn't quite have the popularity and maybe is underrated, and even in the technical aspects, because as we can see, guy can still go. And we finished the show basically with Shelton Benjamin, and he's joined by Bobby Lashley. The two of them start to beat down Kenny Omega. And of all people, of course, in a little bit in feud with Bobby Lashley, he still has a bit of issues with the Hurt Syndicate, and that is Ricochet. He runs out to support Kenny Omega and chase off Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. So 52 for the segment. Storyline continues for Ricochet. And it's getting better. He's giving. I was tempted to go Ricochet versus Takeshita, but I feel you could probably maybe even here go Kenny versus Lashley, just as we sort out who's going to be in the Continental division and who's in the International division going forward. But we finish the show with 74. It doesn't mean any popularity changes, so yeah, Sammy, you tried, mate, but you probably need a bit more help up there in terms of promos. But I feel we're in an interesting place then, as I say, it takes a really, really good show for us to gain popularity, and I hope we don't just kind of stick with the 74s. We're going to really have to try and get people over. Negatives there, not enough storylines furthered. To be fair, it was mostly angles that furthered them, and we used Shelton too much, but that's cool. As for Shockwave, any locker room incidents, Steve Austin he's literally been at one show, and Paul Turner's already influenced. What you like, Paul? But anyway, we'll book Shockwave. We'll be back in a second. So for Shockwave, it's turned out we've got 4,762 fans in the Agnes Arena. And I tried to go with the big hitters to start with, because it is going to be a predominantly women's tournament show. We had Swerve come out. They basically has a back and forth with Will Ospreay. Swerve talks about how he defeated him to retain his AEW World Championship. And he says that's all he wants on his mind. He accepts at the moment it is Christian Cage versus Orange Cassidy. But he wants to make sure that he can beat Will Ospreay to propel him to the next challenger, because he wants dibs on that championship match when it gets to Double or Nothing. So, we are likely to see this one, the winner of it, Ospreay and Swerve, take on the winner of Orange Cassidy and Christian Cage at Double or Nothing. That's the plan. So 70 for that one. Swerve struggled going off script, but Ospreay's really good at it, so that's a shame, but it's not bad. Puts pressure on the main event. In the Super Shine Elite Grand Prix Group A, we had a decent matchup that saw Hikaru Shida defeat Tay Melo in 7:57 with the Tamashii. They had good chemistry, that lifted the match up. 68 played a 53 in terms of in-ring performance, and overall the segment was a 61. So, pretty good stuff there. Next up, Poor Well Brawl match with Camille defeat Alex Windsor in 6:45 to pick up 3 points in Group B. She wins with the spear. 55 for Camille, 34 for Alex Windsor. Obviously doesn't suit her strengths, but we had to make one of them a wild brawl, and this segment was 47. We are flying through these matches. Next up, Riho defeats Svekla in 8:50 with the jumping knee attack. This was in Group C. Sadly, they viewed both of them as pre-show workers. Riho was off her game as well. Even though they had good chemistry, this only brought a 49 or 48 in terms of in-ring, and this was deducted right down to a 40 because of the lack of over this. Duly noted. We had a little segment backstage where we basically had Harley Cameron alongside Jessie McKay, and she basically says to Jessie, it's been a great tournament, but where's Harley? Where's her opportunity? She wants a matchup, she wants to get more involved, and she's just basically a wee comedy segment that's basically just driving Jessie McKay off, insane basically. But I thought it would be a good opportunity to see if we could develop some of their speaking skills effectively, their charisma, etc., entertainment skills, because Jessie obviously needs to get that as her 40 figure. So overall, a 63 is pretty good. And yeah, you got to have a wee bit of comedy at times, kind of always serious. Moved on to Group A though, and we had a poor matchup that saw Sky Blue defeat Gazelle Shaw in 7:52 with sliced bread. Made this one storytelling, not particularly great, on a 44, 45 and 43 with in-ring performances. Sky Blue is someone we're going to put a lot of faith in, but she is going to need a lot of time to develop. Next up, we have a little segment with Raven. For some reason I'm using Raven a lot, but basically we just see him on the phone. And he just says, hey, listen man, I know you're still good to go, you're still in ring shape. I need a favour. I think there's a young man you could help, and I think it's a good spot for you. I'll give you more details soon. So a 55 who was on the other end of the phone call remains to be seen. We'll keep that secret. Next up, it was a Group D match. Decent matchup that saw Megan Bain defeat Sari in 8:06 by pinfall. A 59 for the wrestling, a 65 for the segment's pretty good, as Sari managed to carry Megan to a pretty good matchup there. So more free points there for Megan Bain. And then we had a little promo between her, Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie, just basically saying, Taya's maybe not had a great tournament, but there's a very good chance that both Deonna and Megan can advance to the Final Four. And that was a 51. We had some words here from Bryan Danielson. Sadly didn't get our best promo, only a 67. But he basically comes out and says, he wants his hands on Adam Cole after what he done to Wheeler Yuta. He wants that one-on-one matchup, and Roderick Strong says, if you want to get to my brother, well, we've already faced Kyle O'Reilly. I believe I've done that match. I hope I've done that match. But anyway, if you want to get your hands on Adam Cole, then you've got to get through me first. So basically, we're setting up Bryan Danielson, Roderick Strong for Dynamite this upcoming Wednesday. So a 67, 75 and a 57 for the Roddy promo, so not fantastic, but the storyline advances and gains heat, since half the roster's on this storyline. But Faction Wars will be over at one point. I just feel it's a good way to kind of establish a lot more people, so we'll roll with it. And our main event was also a 70, so we're going to lose a bit of pop, but delighted that I could trust two women to do it. And as I say, it's still pretty damn decent. I actually hope for a bit more, but that's probably just my expectations of two fantastic athletes. It was about to have some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Jamie Hayter defeats Mayu Yamashita in 12:39 with a Falcon Arrow. I let him steal the show. 71-72 for the in-ring, 72 for the wrestling, and a 70 segment. I think we'll probably see about a 69 for a score, maybe a 68. 67 sadly, so we do lose popularity in 15 regions. We increase our popularity in 4. It's one of those things we will take a bit of a hit at times to progress the women's tournament, but at the same time, well, we're financially sound now, so we don't have any issues. As I say, we can take our time and get into large. As you can see there, we made 2.4 million on this show alone. I expanded the size of the network within the US as well, so we are just, as I say, once we get to that higher level, we'll feel the full positives of that. So popularity, 72, 68, a few drops to 69, so it's still 5 overness we need to get to get in a position to get to the next level, but that'll take time. It's fine. So we'll jump back to the main screen, we'll see if there's any notes there. As I say, we still got like 3 weeks to go until Dynasty, so I can probably get that card over, but we've got a few things pretty much already set in stone. We'll have a look at those items, and then we'll have a quick look over the tournament. I feel the tag team tournament is basically obviously second nature to the women's at the moment because there's so many women's matches, but as long as both are done by double or nothing, that's fine. We'll maybe try and establish some sort of tag team championship match for Dynasty as well. So we just look through here. Austin moves on, he's had his 1 day. Lots of WWE stuff have finished up. Dynamite ends its run as well, but I say it's on the AEW network now, so don't worry about that. Shockwave drew a lot of praise, which is good, considering, as I say, the women's main event and the great show of Collision is good to see. Anything else there? I'm half asleep here, so seeing if there's anything that directly affects us. We'll go with G White's fully fit, that certainly does, so that's good to see. Another referee for WWE, contract expiring, Rod Zapata. Wrestling couple is Aaliyah James and Noam Dar have split. Well, that's a shame. Another guy for TNA. Oh, it's got a lot here. But I think that's really it. In terms of us. So, yeah. You're looking at this one going, what the hell? I'm going to do something where I'm obviously looking at Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley versus Ospreay and Omega, and I might do like a wee situation where you have a wee beatdown and then Charlie Haas comes out, and then I might just do Charlie Haas versus Shelton Benjamin next week on Collision. So it's only for 2 appearances, so I think I can do that. I like doing that in these kind of saves where it's just some like feel good moments. It'd be quite cool to see. You're never gonna get anywhere near 100 rating, but it would still be cool. Right. Lots to look at here. So AEW's runs for Dynamite are done on a few channels, but we're fine. AJ Styles is now a free agent, so if we wish to bring him in, we can certainly speak to him. WWE have let him go. What's next that would directly affect is Masha a free agent? She's written with us, but obviously I'd only done written so we could protect ourselves, but she would have, obviously TNA didn't want to extend that. Just go news. I have no idea what news is. I'm so half asleep, but I don't know why. That recent is right there. I don't know why. Because it wasn't like an exclusive contract. I don't know why they never extended it. Bizarre. Mystico's done for his loan period. Boston's done here. Collision got 1 million viewers, so that's not on the network yet, but Shockwave is with 4.1, so you can clearly see where we make our money. So that's fine. I don't want to bring in AJ. I will bring AJ Styles in at one point, but I don't need to right now. So round it up, we'll do the tournaments. I don't think much has happened in the tag ones, so obviously Aussie Open 100% record alongside the Lucha Bros. Private Party have 1 win, the Guns of 2 so far there. FTR, Kings of the Black Throne and MXM Collection, so not really much on the tag side of things. In the women's, Mercedes Monet has 12 points with 4 wins from 5, but 100% record there for Toni Storm, although with impressive records as well are Sky Blue and Hikaru Shida, both on 9 points. You can't rule them out at this point. Not looking good though for Gazelle Shot or Taya Valkyrie. In Group B, 100% record for Athena, 100% record for Jamie Hayter. You get a good record there as well for Anna Jay. And even Camille and Willow Nightingale as well, pretty good records. But it's not looking good for a few others in that group. In Group C, Mariah May, 100% record alongside Io Shirai. But you can't rule out with only 1 defeat, Deonna Purrazzo or Mina Shirakawa. It's going to take a big turnaround though for some of the ones down the bottom half, even at this point in time, as we're near the halfway stage. 5 wins from 5 for Britt Baker, 3 wins from 3 for Chris Statlander, so it's going to be interesting there. Megan Bain has 2 wins from 3, Marina Shafir 3 wins from 5. And there's a lot of wrestlers there that haven't really had too many matches, so it could be interesting to see if we can get some sort of comeback from the likes of Saryu, Anoa'i, maybe even Sari. But that is the state of play so far. Plenty to go. But as I say, the main objective is, of course, just getting them more over and developing a lot of skills. So that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'm absolutely going to hit the hay and go to sleep because it's like 3 AM now. But yeah, take it easy. Remember to check out the Fantasy Bookers subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. And yeah, I'll see you for next week's Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, and Shockwave. Take it easy. Bye bye.